All right, video 3 of the same chapter. I'm gonna try to do this way. Maybe it's easier. It says this. It says the empires of Daniel's vision, the Ptolemies and the Seleucids of early 323 198 BC. Two most powerful successors of Alexander, the Ptolemy and the Seleucids. You see the Ptolemies down here, the Seleucids and all this green area right here. Continue to expand their domains to territory claimed by other generals of the Alexander. And they repeatedly clashed with each other over the land along the eastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea, including the land later called Palestine, which is this right there. That's territory repeatedly contested by Seleucid and Ptolemaic rulers. So anyway, you have this empire, the Anti-Godan Empire, the Ptolemaic Empire, and the Seleucid Empire. So all these empires was like divided. After Alexander died, all these empires was divided up by his generals. So anyway, that's that. Now down here you have this. It says the empires of Daniel's vision, the Ptolemies and Seleucids, late 198 133 BC. By the 2nd century BC, the Seleucid Empire was losing its grip on much of its territory, and the Roman Empire was rapidly expanding throughout the Mediterranean world in an attempt to unite his empire and shore up his defenses against these pressures. Antiochus IV of Ephesus imposed a strict policy of Hellenization of Greek over his domain, which now included the land of Israel. His policy proved to be abhorrent for many Jews, including the Maccabean, also called the Hasmonean family, and in 167 BC they led a revolt that established a new independent kingdom of Israel. So, this is this. The Seleucid territory lost to the Parthians by 170 BC would have been, make sure I do this right, I believe it's going to be, well, this is kind of hard to locate. These right, this is it right here. This is the Seleucid territory lost to the Parthians by 170 BC, which is this. The Seleucid territory lost to the Parthians by 155 BC would have been this. And then the Seleucid territory lost to the Parthians by 140 BC is this right here. So they lost all this right here. They lost all this to the Parthians, which was also part of one of Alexander the Great's empires. So yeah, there's a lot of infighting going on with his empire. So within his empire. So with his generals. So Parthenon took over all this right here, all the way over to where Israel's at, or where Syria's at today. So yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. Now you got all this. I'm gonna try to turn my phone this way because this is a lot to read. It says the rulers of Syria. I'll try to do my phone this way. Yeah, the rulers of Syria, Judea, and Egypt after Alexander the Great. The Ptolemaic dynasty, 323-30 BC. The name Ptolemaic is derived from the name of Ptolemy I Sotar, 367-283 BC, one of Alexander the Great's three main succeeding generals, and was born by all subsequent rulers in the line of Greek-speaking kings who ruled Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great from 323 BC until the country's annexation by Rome in 30 BC. The Seleucid dynasty from 312 to 66 BC, the name Seleucid is derived from the name Seleucus I of Nicator in 358 to 281 BC, one of Alexander the Great's three main succeeding generals, and was born by several other rulers in the line of Greek-speaking kings who ruled Syria after the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC into the country's annexation by Rome as a result of the Pompeii's conquest in 63 BC. So anyway, try to do this right. This is all the Ptolemaic dynasty rulers. See all this right here. I'm not going to read them all. That's just a lot of kings. That's all of them right here. If I can turn my phone this way, maybe. Yeah, anyway, that works right there. So that's all. That's all their leaders. All on this side right here on the left side. That's kind of blurry, but kind of just got to hang with me. There's a lot of them there, and then over here is all the Seleucid dynasty rulers. Right there, you can see that. And some of the rulers actually kind of came together when you get down here. That's when both dynasties came together, was down here. You see all these kings that ruled during this time. It's a bunch of them. Now, over on this side, it says the rulers foretold in Daniel 11. In the absence of legitimate heirs following the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC, 4 of his generals divided the conquered territory of his empire into fourths, which then included most of the known world throughout Europe and Turkey, or Asia Minor, which is Turkey today. By 277 BC, 3 Hellenistic kingdoms, the Greek kingdoms, had stabilized out of their 4 divisions. The Antigon dynasty in Macedonia issuing from Alexander's general Antigus the first of Monophthalmus from 382-301 BC, and beginning with his son Demetrius I of Polyraceus in 294-293 BC. The Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt issuing from Alexander's general Ptolemy I of Sotar from 367-283 BC, and the Seleucid dynasty in Syria issuing from Alexander's general Seleucus I of Nicator from 358-281 BC, which included much of Asia Minor, Turkey from 312-64 BC. Though Judea came under control of the Seleucids in 198 BC, was initially under Ptolemaic Egyptian rule. Each dynasty continued until it eventually became conquered by and absorbed into the emerging Roman Empire. Geographically, Judea was wedged into the middle of the aggressive struggle between the kings of the south, which were the Egyptian Ptolemies, in the north, the Syrian Seleucids, spoken of in Daniel 11. God's people received their most degrading attack when the Seleucid ruler Antiochus IV of Ephesus, 175-164 BC, set up the abomination that makes desolate in the Jerusalem temple. This event precipitated the Maccabean revolt in 167 BC, the reestablishment of Jewish rule in Judea through the Hasmonean dynasty. Matthias and his sons' independent Hasmonean rule lasted over a century until Judea was finally conquered by the Roman general Pompey in 63 BC. The Edomite Herod the Great, he was from Jordan, through his marriage to Miriam I in 29 BC, Hasmonean daughter of Alexandria, and Alexander claimed to be a legitimate Jewish heir to the Hasmonean throne. The Roman Senate declared Herod the Great king of the Jews in 40 BC and giving him vassal rulership over Palestine, comprised of the provinces of Judea and Galilee. His rule did not begin until 37 BC, however, when he was able to recapture Jerusalem from Antigonus and the Parthians.